The sun shone brightly over downtown Los Angeles, casting warm rays on bustling streets filled with shoppers eager to take advantage of weekend sales. The Macy's on South Broadway was alive with activity, its aisles teeming with people hunting for bargains, or simply enjoying the lively atmosphere of the iconic department store. Among them was Lauren Taylor, a successful African-American entrepreneur in her late 30s. Dressed in a tailored cream blazer, slim-fit jeans, and beige heels, Lauren exuded confidence and sophistication. She wasn't here to browse aimlessly. Her sharp eye had landed on a display of designer handbags, and she was searching for the perfect accessory to complete her look for an important dinner meeting later that evening. Unbeknownst to Lauren, she had caught the attention of someone else in the store, Meredith White, a middle-aged woman known for her blunt demeanor and sharp tongue. Meredith had stopped by the store after a yoga class, her activewear still pristine and her designer handbag slung casually over her shoulder. Spotting Lauren near the handbags, Meredith's gaze lingered, her thoughts darkening with baseless assumptions. Lauren reached for a sleek leather purse, running her fingers along its polished surface as she admired the craftsmanship. But before she could fully appreciate it, a shrill voice shattered the store's hum of activity. "Excuse me! Excuse me!" Meredith's voice carried across the room, turning heads and silencing conversations. She stormed toward Lauren, her face flushed with indignation. "That woman is trying to steal that bag," Meredith declared, pointing a manicured finger at Lauren. Lauren froze, momentarily stunned by the accusation. Around her, shoppers paused, their curiosity piqued as they turned to watch the unfolding drama. Meredith marched closer, her tone growing sharper. "I saw you!" she accused, her voice tinged with self-righteous fury. "You were about to walk out with that bag, weren't you? I know your kind." Lauren's heart raced, not with guilt, but with disbelief. She steadied herself, locking eyes with Meredith. "Excuse me," she said, her voice calm but laced with shock. "I'm not stealing anything." "Don't play dumb," Meredith shot back, narrowing her eyes. "People like you think you can take whatever you want." The crowd around them thickened. Some shoppers watched from behind clothing racks, their expressions a mix of intrigue and discomfort. A couple of store employees glanced nervously at one another, unsure of how to intervene. Lauren took a deep breath, her posture straightening. "I don't know what you think you saw, but I'm shopping, just like everyone else. If you have a problem, take it up with the store manager." But Meredith was relentless. "I am," she snapped. "Security! Security!" she yelled, waving her arms dramatically. A burly security guard named Miguel approached the scene, his brow furrowed as he assessed the escalating tension. He had seen countless disputes during his years on the job, but something about this one felt different. "What's going on here, ma'am?" he asked, addressing Meredith. Meredith wasted no time. "This woman was trying to steal that handbag. I caught her red-handed. I demand you search her." Lauren's stomach churned, not from fear, but from indignation. She could feel the weight of the crowd's stares, their silent judgments pressing down on her. Despite the storm of emotions brewing inside, she maintained her composure. "I didn't steal anything," Lauren stated firmly, meeting Miguel's gaze. "I was looking at the bag, that's all." Miguel glanced between the two women, his discomfort evident. He turned to Lauren. "Ma'am, would you mind if we verify this? We can check the security footage to clear things up." But Meredith interjected before Lauren could respond. "We don't need cameras," she snapped. "I saw her with my own eyes." Lauren's jaw tightened. She took a step forward, her voice steady but resolute. "You're accusing me without proof, based on nothing but your assumptions. You have no right to treat me this way." At that moment, the store manager, David Harper, arrived. A tall, composed man in his early 40s. David exuded professionalism and authority. "What seems to be the problem here?" he asked, his tone calm but commanding. Meredith turned to him, her voice dripping with exaggerated outrage. "This woman was trying to steal a handbag. I demand that she be removed from the store immediately." David studied Meredith for a moment before turning to Lauren. "Ma'am, would you be willing to come with us to review the security footage?" he asked. Lauren nodded. "Absolutely. I have nothing to hide." The group moved toward the security room, the tension in the air palpable. Shoppers whispered among themselves, some pulling out their phones to record the unfolding scene. Inside the security room, the footage played on a large screen as everyone watched intently. The video showed Lauren browsing the handbags, picking one up to examine it, and then placing it back on the shelf. There was no sign of theft or any suspicious behavior. Meredith's face turned pale as the footage contradicted her every word. But she was going to steal it, she stammered, her confidence crumbling. David turned to Meredith, his expression hardening. There's no evidence of theft here. I'm afraid you've made a mistake. Lauren, who had remained silent during the playback, finally spoke. Her voice was steady but carried an undercurrent of emotion. This wasn't a mistake, she said, turning to Meredith. This was you making assumptions based on the color of my skin? Meredith's face flushed with embarrassment. I didn't mean... You called me a thief without any proof, Lauren continued, her tone unwavering. You humiliated me in front of everyone here because you decided I couldn't possibly be just another shopper. The gathered crowd, which had grown larger during the commotion, began murmuring in agreement. Some recorded the exchange, their phones capturing every word. David stepped forward. Meredith, I'm going to have to ask you to leave the store, he said firmly. Your behavior is unacceptable, and we do not tolerate racial profiling in this establishment. Meredith's eyes widened in disbelief. What? You're kicking me out? But she did nothing wrong, David interrupted. You, on the other hand, owe her an apology. Flustered and defeated, Meredith stormed out of the store, her head bowed as the crowd around her began to clap. It was a moment of justice, though one that highlighted a reality too many had experienced. As Meredith disappeared, Lauren was approached by David. Ms. Taylor, he said, his voice filled with sincerity. On behalf of Macy's, I deeply apologize for what just happened. We take incidents like these very seriously, and we appreciate how gracefully you handled the situation. Lauren nodded, her emotions still raw. Thank you, she replied. But this isn't just about today. This happens too often. The footage from the security room quickly spread across social media. The video sparked widespread conversations about racism, implicit bias, and the importance of accountability. The public backlash against Meredith was swift and unforgiving. Her employer, a prominent real estate firm, terminated her contract, citing violations of their code of conduct. Meredith, now infamous for her actions, struggled to find new employment as her name became synonymous with prejudice. For Lauren, the incident opened unexpected doors. Civil rights organizations reached out, inviting her to speak at events and share her story. She embraced the opportunity, using her voice to advocate for those who had been wrongfully accused and mistreated. A few months after the incident, Lauren received a formal letter from Macy's corporate office. Inside was an offer she hadn't anticipated, a consulting position within their diversity and inclusion department. The company wanted her to help implement policies that would prevent racial profiling and create a safer environment for all shoppers. Walking into her first meeting with Macy's executive team, Lauren felt a mix of pride and determination. I'll do it, she said, her voice resolute. But only if this is about real change, not just damage control. The CEO nodded, outlining plans to give Lauren the authority to shape policies, train employees, and build partnerships with civil rights organizations. Months later, Lauren stood on a stage addressing hundreds of Macy's employees. Her speech was powerful, blending personal anecdotes with a call to action. This isn't just about fixing one incident, she said. It's about creating a future where everyone feels respected and valued. The crowd erupted into applause, and Lauren knew this was only the beginning. Her work inspired other retailers to follow suit, leading to widespread changes in how businesses address discrimination. Meanwhile, Meredith, after months of reflection, reached out to Lauren. In an emotional conversation, she tearfully apologized. I didn't realize how much harm I was doing, she admitted. I'm sorry. Lauren, always believing in the power of redemption, accepted the apology. We all make mistakes, she said. What matters is that we learn from them. From that day forward, Meredith dedicated herself to advocacy, joining local groups that promoted racial justice. Lauren's story had transformed not just her own life, but countless others, proving that even the darkest moments can spark lasting change.